Hello everyone, welcome to Wilkes Now. I'm Jerome Hanna.
And I'm Jacob Chasen. We're broadcasting from the Wilkes University Carambellis Media and Communication Center.
Today we'll have a report covering the many snow days and how students are coping with the lost time.
Let's take a look at what else we have coming up on today's show.
Hello everyone, I'm Cabrina Renicky, the co-news editor for The Beacon, and on today's Beacon Briefs, I'll tell you what's happening this week. Don't forget that you can grab your own copy of The Beacon at any campus building. More coming up soon. See you in a few.
We are here outside the Carambellis Media and Communication Center for weather now. Currently a mix of sun and clouds, about 36 degrees, a light breeze. We're looking at a little rain for Thursday before temperatures get a little warmer and more sunny skies. We'll have more on that inside.
I'm Kirsten Peters.
And I'm Eric Bideman.
Coming up on Sports Now, Taylor Gordy has an end-of-the-season interview with Tara Machioko, who leads the Wilkes women's basketball team.
Then, in the second half of sports, we'll bring you a rundown of how Wilkes Athletics did in their opening conference matchups. We'll see you back here soon for more.
So, tomorrow's the first day of spring.
Yeah.
Pretty excited.
Yeah, we had a really good Friday. Got to interview a friend and such. I have a question. What do you have planned for this spring? What are you most excited for?
The nice weather so I could go out and hike.
Yeah?
Definitely, yeah.
I'm all on board for my first fishing trip of the year. I love fishing. I got to take my father out to Moon Lake or Francis Slocum or something.
Okay, yeah.
That'll
Francis
be
Slocum
good.
is nice.
It is. I hear you. Registration for Fall and Summer 2019 began at 10 p.m. on Sunday, March 17th. The Fall Master Schedule and Summer Master Schedule are now available online. Please make an appointment to pre-register with your advisor as soon as possible to ensure you are in the right track and find your fall registration dates online. Let's check in with Brianna for this week's
Over the
report.
last month, Wilkes University has experienced multiple snowstorms, which has affected students' lives and classes. Today, we're here to see how they feel about it. How have the class cancellations from the snowstorms affected your classes and life?
So I'm a nursing major, so a lot of our clinicals have been getting canceled on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which has caused some of us to have not the opportunity to experience going to the hospitals and learning what we need to learn. It also gives us more time to study, so the not going to clinical can also help us in that aspect as well.
Do you prefer snow days or do you prefer going to class?
It depends on the day. If we have a lot going on that week, it's a lot easier to study when we have a snow day and kind of just relax. But at the same time, you're missing out on classes and everything.
How have the snow cancellations affected your classes and your life?
Well, we're nursing students, so some of our clinicals have been canceled, so we're going to have to make them up at the end of the semester.
So it kind of sucks, but other than that, we're living.
Yep.
Do you prefer snow days or do you prefer to attend class every day?
Depends on the day.
Yeah, responsible me wants to say go to class, but lazy me wants to say snow days.
And are you ready for the spring weather to start or do you want winter to last longer?
No, I love winter.
I want it to get warm because I love spring and the sun reminds me of home. SoCal reppin'.
No, NorCal reppin'. Till I die.
How have the winter cancellations affected your classes and your life?
For classes, it's been pushing us back quite a bit, causing some problems, but it's always good to have cancellations.
Do you prefer snow days or do you prefer to attend class every day?
I don't like attending class every day. I don't think a lot of people do, but the snow days can get pretty annoying sometimes.
And are you ready for the spring weather or do you want winter to continue?
I'm absolutely ready for spring weather.
Me too. Thank you. Even though the occasional cancellation is nice, students hope spring weather returns soon. I'm Brianna Evish with Wilkes Now. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Brianna. Are you ready for a little breakfast at Tiffany's? That is the theme at this year's Spring Fling. Student government will host this year's Spring Fling from 6 to 11 p.m. on Friday, March 29th at Genetti's. Get your tickets in the Henry Student Center during club hours. Tickets are $5 each and will be on sale until Friday, March 22nd. Now let's take it over to Cabrini for this week's Beacon Brief.
Welcome to the Beacon Briefs. I'm Karina Renicky, the co-news editor for the Beacon here at Wilkes. Here's what's going on. Residence Life announced new dorm buildings available for students in fall 2019. The buildings are at 134 South Main Street, 77 West Northampton Street, and the Cumberland Apartments. All 3 buildings are apartment-style dorms. Res Life also announced the option of homesteading, which allows residents to remain in the dorm or hall they are currently residing in. Res Life will also be hosting a constant in the Student Union building for a drawing for our first picks in choosing housing. In other news, PA Harm Reduction Coalition hosted a policy change forum for the opioid epidemic. The event took place last Wednesday. The community was invited to discuss a solution for the epidemic. More info can be found at paharmreduction.org. Thanks for checking in, guys. That's all I have for today. I'm Karina Renicki, and this is Beacon Briefs. Now let's get back to the studio.
The City of Wilkes-Barre's Office of Economic and Community Development is preparing their 2019 action plan as required by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. A key component for this action plan, and those in the future, is citizen participation. The city has created a brief survey which will allow the voices of our community to be heard. Everyone who lives in, works in, or visits Wilkes-Barre for entertainment or recreational purposes is invited to take a few minutes to complete the community survey. Be sure to check the Wilkes Today page to participate. Now let's take it over to the sports team for their interview of the week.
Good evening. With me here, I have Coach Machako. How are you feeling today?
Good. How are you?
I'm feeling great. I have a few questions regarding your team and how great you guys have been playing lately and what has contributed to you guys' success. Are you ready?
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. What are some of the biggest transitions you've had to make coaching a new team this year?
I think getting all of your players to buy into a new system, a new style of play, a different energy level. We had a very interesting mix of newcomers and returners, and trying to get them to all kind of come together and build that team chemistry along with learning a new system has been quite a challenge. I think the girls have done a good job of working hard to buy into it. I think there was a little bit resistance along the way, but I think as the season progressed, they started to kind of buy in and understand what it takes to be successful. So.
And that showed in the way you guys played going down the stretch. I've taken notice to the family-like relationship between you and your players, but how do you keep a solid balance between work and play?
I think one of the most important things is that you have to show them that you're a human as well. You know, if you make a mistake or you do something funny, laugh at it. Kind of show your true colors a little bit so that they understand that you're kind of going through this with them. Also, caring about your players is really, really important. You know, making sure that it's not just about basketball; it's about the bigger picture. You're here to help them develop and fine-tune their basketball skills, but you're also here to help them develop and mature and grow as young women, and hopefully 4 years from now see them walk across that stage and go out into the workforce, and then, you know, years down the road get invited to their weddings and be a part of their family for their life. So I think it's important about developing relationships and showing them that you really truly do care about them as people, not just as athletes.
Thanks, Coach. What is the biggest hurdle you think the team has faced this season, and how has that made them better? How did the girls learn from it?
I think honestly probably the biggest hurdle is, like we talked about at the start, is really learning a new system, a new coaching style, a new style of play, trying to mix old players with new players, and the focus that we started with was defensive minded, and I don't know that was something that they were used to. So I think change is always difficult for anyone, and for college age kids, I think that was probably the biggest hurdle is learning how to change and adapt as we went through the season.
Your team has a game against Fairleigh Dickinson on the 16th. For you, what do you think are the keys to success and winning that?
I think honestly this is probably the most important game of the year for us, and some people might question that and laugh at that, but I do, because I think that this game going into Saturday is we have an opportunity to possibly finish in a tie for 5th place, which is one game out of the playoffs. Going from where the team was in the last couple of years to being one game out of a playoff game, moving forward, I think that's a huge, huge confidence booster for us. I think there's not very many teams that get to finish their season with a win. So if we go in there and we're able to finish that with a win on a high note, I think that's going to really help us propel in the future. And I think the key to going into this game is confidence, knowing that we were able to beat them at home, going in and defending. They're very, very quick and athletic, and making sure that we keep them out of the paint. And then winning every 50-50 ball and going in and working harder than they work, and coming out on top. And I think that could be a really, really big push for us for the future.
Your girls really do epitomize everything that you're preaching right now. They really do with their play.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But so many people do. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Many people do not know the sacrifices that it takes for a student athlete to do what you ask them to do. on a consistent basis daily. So what are these girls expected to do so that they can reach your expectations?
I mean, I think aside from everybody kind of looks at an athletic program and says, okay, they go in and practice and they play games. There's so much more to that. There's watching film. There's doing individual skill work. There's twice a week strength and conditioning with our strength and conditioning coach. There's study hall for some of those student athletes. On top of all of that, think about all of the hours that they're putting into the academic side of it, the social side of it. Some of them have work-study jobs. Some of them have jobs outside of campus. So I think the amount of time and effort that they're putting into not only fine-tuning their athletic ability, but their academics and trying to balance that social life as well. So I think the time and effort that goes into it is really outstanding, but I do think it helps develop the leadership qualities that make them such outstanding hires when they go out into the workforce.
Thank you very much. Your time is appreciated by me and the staff, Coach Machado. Good luck with the next, and I hope you guys continue to do better.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Did you know that the Colonel's Closet supplies personal and household products in addition to a wide array of food items? The organization located in the sub recently received a generous donation of cleaning products, which they wish to distribute to the Wilkes community. Stop by the Colonel's Closet in the Interfaith office on the second floor of the Henry Student Center to choose what you need. The Colonel's Closet is open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. All visits are confidential, no questions asked. Now let's take it over to Nick for this week's Nick's Nerd News.
What's up, everybody? Nick James here for another episode of Nick's Nerd News, the show that's going to get you your Week in Geek in just 4 minutes. Now, that's not much time, so how about we dive right into it? Captain Marvel came out. Did you see it? Because I did, and boy, do I have to say I loved it. Now, Marvel, over the last decade, has kind of made up a formula to how to introduce a brand new character. It's a person who doesn't have powers, they get powers, they become a hero. This time, they kind of mixed that up. Now, I won't say too much. There will not be spoilers in this video, but it's a little bit different than the 3-act structure that they're used to, and it seems to be working because that movie opened up at $455 million. That's a lot, and what's even more impressive, in its second week, it was able to bring in another $69.3 million domestically and another $120 million internationally. That's amazing. So great ode to Captain Marvel. And before that movie even got a little cold, we saw some more footage of Carol Danvers in action, but this time with the Avengers. That's right, before the movie even got out of its opening weekend, Marvel released a Marvel's Avengers Endgame for them to show us a little bit of Carol Danvers there. Now, I don't want to spoil too much, so if you haven't seen it, go out and do so now, but there's an interaction between her and Thor. It's gonna be great, guys. Now, if you're a little bit nervous for what Endgame's gonna be, I have a little bit of a scoop for you. So this is kind of a bit of a spoiler. If you noticed in Infinity War, the main 6 really weren't that big of a part. That's right, the characters who were introduced to us in 2012's Avengers kind of took a back seat. We didn't get that much of Iron Man. Yeah, he fought Thanos, but where was he the last half hour? Captain America, where was he the first half hour? You know, all these characters took a back seat, but I promise you, I have word from Kevin Feige, through another source, that they will be part of this. Check this out. People would point out that Cap wasn't in Infinity War a whole lot, Feige told Empire magazine, and Iron Man really didn't speak for the last half hour because of what was going on. But those characters and all the original 6 are very much the focus of Endgame in a very personal and emotional way. Oh no, guys, what's that gonna mean? It sounds a little too hardcore, a little personal. I mean, we know that most of these actors' contracts are up at the end of this Endgame. Will they come back? Will maybe their characters not make it through the end? I don't know, but we will know soon. Next month, guys. We just have to keep it together a little bit longer, and that movie will be arriving to us. But in the meantime, I have one last piece of news in the Marvel Universe that might get a lot of people happy. That's right, James Gunn is back. The director who was once fired from Marvel/Disney has now returned. If you remember, it was actually on one episode of Nick's Nerd News where we talked about his dismissal after 10-year-old tweets were brought up, and Disney has said, hey, maybe we went a little too hard, a little too fast, and now we have to pump the brakes and maybe ask this guy to come back. We have him back, and he took to Twitter, something I didn't think was going to happen, but he got back on Twitter and had this to say. I am tremendously grateful to every person out there who has supported me over the past few months. I am always learning and will continue to work at being the best human being I can be. I deeply appreciate Disney's decision, and I am excited to continue making films that investigate the ties of love that binds us all. I have been and continue to be incredibly humbled by your love and support. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Love to you all. So like it or not, he is back for Volume 3. I'm kind of excited to see where that goes. I'm a big fan of the first one. The second one's not my favorite, but it's still a pretty good story, so let's hope he finishes his trilogy strong. That's all the time I got for you guys. Where does the time fly? Who knows when you're having such nerd fun? Be sure if you want to catch up with all things Nick's Nerd News, follow me on Twitter, or you can always subscribe down beneath. I've been Nick James for Nick's Nerd News. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thanks, Nick. We will be right back with more Wilkes Now after this short break.
Mother Earth, a gift under our care. Let's not go back. Nurture nature. Nourish the soil and your soul. Let's mend our planet together. Make Mother Earth smile.
Welcome to Sports Now. I'm your host, Kirsten Peters.
And I'm Eric Bideman.
As far as spring sports went this past week, tennis was the only sport to gain wins for both the men's and the women's teams, claiming the top spot on this week's leaderboard.
In their 7-2 win against Muhlenberg, the Colonels swept 3 doubles matches, with seniors Courtney Murphy and Andrew McDonald securing the 8-7 tiebreaker victory in the #1 spot.
Senior Brad Chow and sophomore Mike Ellis followed suit in the 2 spot, with a tiebreaker victory of their own 8-7. Junior Chris Matteritz and senior Jonathan White closed out the doubles pairings with an 8-4 victory at #3.
As for singles, Wilkes clinched wins in flights 1 through 4. Murphy, Matteritz, White, and sophomore Larry Skartz finished in straight sets to give the Colonels the win over Muhlenberg.
Despite the men's impressive showing, the women blanked Muhlenberg with a 9-0 victory. Just as the men did, the women swept all 3 doubles pairings.
Senior Jordan Vazarkovi and freshman Dacia Yaknis went 8-2 for the win on the 1 spot. Sophomore Dagny Markle and freshman Alexa Sieri went 8-2 as well at #2, and junior Laura Zielinski and Francesca Varelliseri posted an 8-0 win at #3.
As for singles, Vazarkovi, Yaknis, Zielinski, senior Aaron Balutza, freshman Rachel Thomas, and Markle each won their matches to bring Wilkes to victory.
Returning to the men's side of things, they faced Yeshiva after beating Muhlenberg 7-2.
This contest proved to be a closer matchup as Wilkes just edged out Yeshiva 5-4. The pairings of Matteritz and White and Murphy and McDonald secured doubles wins.
Murphy, White, and Skartz won their singles matches, with Skartz' #4 6-3 and 6-0 victory clinching the win for Wilkes.
On both the men's and women's side of the court, MAC Freedom Player of the Week honors were earned. Murphy notched his 3rd Conference Weekly Award this season and the 10th of his career, whereas Vazarkovi claimed her 1st for the season and 11th of her career.
In addition to Wilkes tennis, baseball salvaged their 3-game series against Misericordia with a win in Game 3 on Sunday.
After falling to Misericordia 5-1 and 5-3 in the doubleheader on Saturday, Wilkes was able to dominate with an 11-3 victory on Sunday for the win.
Junior Matt Reinert, who led the team with a .500 batting average and a walk, sophomore Nick Pronti, who followed in second with .444 batting average and a walk and a sac bunt, and sophomore Brian Niffenecker, who followed in third with a .375 batting average and clutch hits during all 3 games, led Wilkes on the offensive end.
On the mound, Wilkes shut down senior pitcher Drake Koch, who dominated in a 16-3 performance in the MAC Freedom Championship tournament last season in his last appearance against the Colonels.
Not only did the Colonels have Koch's number, but freshman pitcher Gage Coudreau did exactly what a relief pitcher is supposed to do, provide relief. Under his command, Misericordia suffered weak contact at the plate and base runners were held where they were.
Kadri's calm, cool, and collected nature served him well in earning his first conference victory of his collegiate career.
On the women's side of the diamond, the softball team fell in both contests of their doubleheader in Misericordia 2-0 and 5-3.
The Colonels were unable to get on the board in the first game and finally got their first run in the third inning of the second game. Sophomore Brittany Gemelon led off with a single up the middle and scored on sophomore Haley Boyd's single down the right field line to tie the game at 1.
Despite getting lucky with a pair of errors that allowed sophomore Madison Ensley and freshman Aaron Cabry to score, Misericordia was able to come out with the 5-3 victory.
On the turf, men's lacrosse came up short against the University of New England 14-12.
The team found themselves trailing 14-7 heading into the fourth quarter before rallying to 14-12 with 7:12 remaining in the game. However, the University of New England altered their game plan and kept the Colonels from completing their comeback attempt with 2 more goals in the quarter.
Senior John Wink led the day with 5 goals, 5 ground balls, and 2 assists. Junior Connor Daly tacked on 3 goals, while freshman Eric Ormsby added 2.
On the women's side of things, the Colonels picked up a 20-17 victory over the College of Westbury for the Colonels' 3rd straight win.
Sophomore Sierra Duman notched a career-high 7 points and 6 goals to lead the Colonels to victory. Sophomore Ashley Burkhart tacked on 4 goals and senior Kira Baccio added 3.
Junior goalkeeper Sarah Carlini finished with 13 saves in 46 minutes of play in net. Junior Melania Vasquez entered in relief to record 3 stops.
As for men's volleyball, in their 4-game week, they were only able to secure one 3-0 victory against St. Joseph's College, Brooklyn. The Colonels finished with sets of 25-15, 25-13, and 25-15 again.
Freshman Ethan Speecher recorded 10 kills, 1 block, and 1 ace to lead Wilkes. Junior Cole Hefner was instrumental as well, recording 7 kills, 5 blocks, and 2 aces.
As for the Beacon Athletes of the Week, lacrosse stole the show on both fronts.
It's John Wink on the men's side and Kira Baccio on the women's.
Be sure to grab a copy of this week's Beacon that comes out today and can be found around campus to take a look at the Athlete of the Weeks and the rest of the sports section.
That's all we have today for Sports Now. I'm Eric Bideman.
And I'm Kirsten Peters. We'll be right back after this public service announcement.
One simple thing to do is take the pledge to go and get screened for the cancers that might affect you.
So stand up, cancer, and take the pledge at
GetScreenNow.org. It only takes a minute to take care of yourself, and nothing rhymes with org.
Nope, nothing rhymes with org. Who wrote this?
If you're not in control, then who is? Live above the influence.
And welcome to Weather Now. I'm Tyler Aldinger. As we saw outside, currently 36 degrees, a mix of sun and clouds. A light breeze out there, not too bad from what we've been dealing with the past couple weeks. So nonetheless, looking ahead, 43 degrees for the high today, 27 the low, mostly sunny, and this will continue into tomorrow as well, as the high is 51 degrees with mostly sunny skies. Looking though at Thursday, 49 degrees, but clouds and rain is what we're going to have to deal with. But looking ahead into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, highs in the upper 40s, and even into Sunday and Monday, 60 and 59 degrees. So sunny, clear blue skies looking ahead except for Thursday. So this is for today. Not much going on, obviously, but then we see this storm tomorrow start to develop, and then looking a little more into our area, as you can see, Thursday, 8 a.m., we have this rain that we're going to have to deal with, and this is going to persist throughout the day. As you can see, 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. it finally starts to clear out of here. But after this, we will have sunny, blue, clear skies going into the weekend with warmer temperatures. So this day in weather history, 1935, southeast Colorado dust storms, 6 feet of dust covering the ground at this time, according to the Weather Channel. So very interesting. So looking ahead, warmer temperatures Wednesday and Thursday, rain on Thursday, and a clear and sunny weekend. Highs closer to 60. So we'll have more after this public service announcement.
That's all the time we have for today. Just a reminder, you can watch us live every Tuesday on Service Electric Channel 97 at 12 o'clock noon. Also, check out our YouTube channel for episodes of the show.
And in case you missed it, our broadcast re-airs every weeknight at 7:30 p.m. I thank you very much for watching. From all of us here at Wilkes Now, have a great week.